Welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your host, Coach Ken Canion, a.k.a. the professor, a.k.a. the doctor, a.k.a.
the Jack Donkey.
She called, y'all, right before we came on, she called me, she said I was Mr. Meanie. She's saying that I was mean, that I hurt her feelings. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I apologize if I hurt yours, but she's a great actress, y'all. Welcome, my co-host, A.K. Karen Canion, Coach Karen Canion.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Simply Net, A.K.A. Rookie. How are you tonight?
I am fantastic, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. See, you got your notepad and everything.
Tonight,
a little notepad and everything. Somebody just said on our lives that you don't be smiling all the time, that you look sad. And I think they were trying to imply because you're with me, like you're my wife. And I just wanted to let them know that you smile a lot.
I do stay. Look at you. I do smile a lot. But I do make I have a RBF as well.
Well, a resting bitch face.
I do have one of those from time to time. But even in the RBF, I'm happy.
All right. So you have to tell people that sometimes, because I thought I only responded on one post. I normally never respond, and that one post I stopped responding on it because I got tickled. It was taking up too much of my time.
So a person said I look unhappy
because they were mad. I think she was mad at me because she said I didn't know what I was talking about depression. I was talking about how smiling there is evidence. She said, "You're not a clinical psychologist or medical professional." I'm not. But and I'm not a psychologist or anything, but what I do is I study human behavior and how the mind works. And I said the mind and the body are linked. And I use the example of when you smile, there is a temporary shift in your emotions. It is. And then I use the example, I said, smile and then be depressed at the time when you're smiling. And you can't do it.
And then the helper tried to bring me in.
And then he tried to bring you into it.
And that's something.
Try to bring me into it.
Ain't that something? That's low.
That's
low down.
When they go low, you gonna go high?
Depends on what they going low on now.
I'm not gonna always go high. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I think that's. I might hit you in the gut. I might take your knees out. I'm not gonna always go high. I'm sorry.
I think going high, is really for the movies. You know what I'm talking
about?
In real life. Now, there are times that you go high, but keep on playing with me, ma'am. Keep on. I'm just.
See, the thing is, here's what people think. Because we are creators, because we're content creators, people think they have a right, they have license to say anything. And they do, because we've opened ourselves up in an open forum. However, we have the license to fire back, to respond. And it just so happens that I'm super smart, very smart. And so when they come after me, I'm going to hit them in an intellectual way. I'm not going to say, F you, get out my pay. No. What I'm going to do is say it's obviously you're intellectually challenged. And because you're intellectually challenged, the conversation that you are espousing to get across is asinine. And because it's asinine, I have no more conversation with you.
Well, because that is not my vocabulary, I would say F you.
All right, let's get into this week, though, because our producer, Big AP, he don't want you messing around. But all right, y'all, welcome to the show. And first off, I want to say subscribe to the channel. We are getting roughly 45,000 new subscribers each and every month. And I thank you and I thank God for that. All right. We're going to talk about tonight, but let's get to last week.
Okay.
Last week we talked about, and it was a good conversation.
Yes, it was.
Can people ever get over infidelity? What's your take on
it? We had some really, really good feedback.
Yes.
A lot of the answers really surprised me. A lot of people said, because a lot of people said, I personally thought people would just say, not me, I'm not, if you cheat, but people said, you don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation. And the people that were strong enough to make their relationship last and stay, thank you for sharing those stories. Yeah. But I love the response that we got last week.
I did too, because when you think about it, God forbid me, I'm glad I ain't gonna never have to worry. I'm not gonna. You ain't gonna never have to worry about it. But And I don't think I'm gonna have to ever worry about it. But, being on the show Unfaithful, a lot of people, I experience that every week, people who have been devastated by the betrayal of infidelity and what it does to them mentally and emotionally. And so it is one of those things that, and on the show, Tammy and I always say this. We always say, we're not here to tell you what you should do. That is an individual choice that everybody has to make for themselves. But what we try to do is provide you with all of the information necessary to make that choice, because it's not always black and white. It's not always black and white. So I just want to say that. Okay. All right. But you got something for me this week, though.
So today I want to talk about, we don't have a letter. We don't have a video. I just wanted to talk today. I just felt like I wanted to use all of this time just to talk about this topic. Being compatible, or compatibility versus chemistry.
Oh, that's a good topic.
Like, at first I thought it was one and the same.
They're not.
They go together, like me and you did when you say you didn't go to. They go together.
See, just like we didn't go together at that time.
They go together, but they're totally different. And I wanted to talk about that today. Compatibility versus chemistry. And what I have found, okay, I always got to have my little definitions. Chemistry is the intense feeling or connection, an attraction, an emotional bond between two people.
Okay.
That's what I got for the definition of chemistry. And for compatible, it's being able to exist together without conflict. Being able to live with each other in harmony, so just somebody just suitable or right for you. What would your definition be of chemistry when it comes to a relationship?
So having worked with this concept for the last 10 years, I want to make it a little more practical.
Okay.
Many people thought like you do. They think like you do, where they think chemistry and compatibility are the same, but they are not.
They are not.
They are not. And so I'm going to kind of break down what the difference is.
Okay.
But before I do that, I want y'all to know this show is sponsored by the Pocket Communication Coach. If you, and this is going to lead into a Pocket Communication Coach is a AI software that yours truly created to help you communicate better, to help you find out if you are compatible. That's so good. If you're interested in it, go to pocketcommunicationcoach.com when you need to say it, but you just don't know how. So that being said, all right, think of chemistry as the way I feel, the spark, the emotional connection of it, right? The way I feel at any given time.
That's what I have here. Your chemistry is the emotional connection.
It's the emotion. It's if you think about it, it is the way you feel at any given moment. When I meet you, when we're around each other, you ever notice somebody when you see somebody, you like, ooh, you get the goose, your liver, as you say, your liver started quivering.
When I see you naked, that's how I feel.
Oh, yes. I just get hard. I don't know whether
Kenny, okay,
I see you nigga, I just get hard. I don't know if that's emotional. Or, anyway, I digress. All right. So it is an emotional connection or attraction.
Okay.
All right. How you feel at any moment. Now, that connection or attraction can be misconstrued as compatibility. That emotion or attraction. So let's look at chemistry is attraction.
Okay.
It's the feeling of attraction, chemistry. Well, compatibility is not really a feeling, more says a value assessment. Compatibility is based on, do our core values line up? Our beliefs line up? The way we see the world, does it line up?
That's what I have here. Shared values, interests, mutual respect.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair. Now, here's the disconnect. Me and you can have mad chemistry, attraction, but have zero compatibility. We have our values aren't the same. And a lot of people, I see this all the time. Zero, our values aren't the same, but girl, ooh, you look good in them jeans. Ooh, I love those teeth. I love those eyes. And it's an illusion many times for compatibility.
Can you have a relationship without chemistry and compatibility?
Great question. Can you have a relationship? Let's start like this. You ever seen somebody who didn't like a person at first? All right? They didn't like a person at first. And they weren't really attracted to the person at first. But they ended up getting with that person after that. They said after I talked to him a while, after we start interacting a while, that, well, what happened? The initial chemistry was not there.
But they were compatible.
But after a while, I started talking to you, and my beliefs, what I believe, my core values were similar to yours, in alignment with your values. All of a sudden, that drew me to you based on compatibility, not chemistry.
So you bring me to my next. How do you get to that though? So many people are looking for that instant spark, like that like let's you and I, for instance.
I was gonna say that story time.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about
when
that.
we first met, we didn't like each other.
There was really no attraction, no chemistry.
And so now I was attracted to you physically. Like I thought you were very attractive looking.
I mean, I thought you was a cute girl, but I wasn't attracted because of your attitude. I'm just saying.
Anyway.
Look at that. I think that's what you was doing that night. What you just did, I think that's what you were doing.
And so how do you get past little to no chemistry to find out that we are compatible and it may be something there?
It's a conscious decision. So this is how you do it. And I tell my clients this all the time there. I say, okay, I get it. There was no initial spark. I said, but there is something for you that say, you know what? I said, stay present, continue the process. If in the next few dates, you don't see any compatibility, any opportunity for your values to connect, I said, but a lot of people say, Coach, I got somebody in a relationship right now. They say, Coach, what you say is true. You say, I always say this, that the person for you will more than likely not come packaged the way you see them in your mind. Now, notice what I just said, because a lot of people are in relationships because the person in their head doesn't match the person in their bed. Okay? So I say this. I say, look, most of the time, it's not going to come packaged. Like, do you want to? Because the person that in their bed is the person they were attracted to. They were attracted, and they thought the rest would fall in line. So what I tell them is this. I say, don't discard a person because the initial chemistry isn't there. Just go through the process, remain present, because you can always bail out.
Audience, what do you think? Do you think that a person has to have compatibility and chemistry together? Or do you think that there is something that could, like the chemistry can stand alone, compatibility can stand alone? Do you think they have to have them both for a relationship to flourish?
I think that's a good thing. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. So here's the question now.
Yes.
If you're not initially attracted to a person, you said you were attracted to me physically, but could you be in a relationship or pursue the possibility of a relationship if you don't have that initial chemistry?
I think I could, because looks were never a big thing to me. I went by how someone treated me or how they made me feel.
Okay.
And so that was never a big thing to me. You just happen to be fine. You know what I'm talking about?
Can't help that. I mean, I can't help that. Blame it on my mama and my daddy.
So I think that I could. Now I'm gonna tell what Jesus loved, and that's the truth.
You about to say something.
Now, if I'm just
go
if they are butt ugly.
Ned, don't use the word. You know I don't like the word ugly.
If they are butt unattractive.
Okay. I hate that word ugly, though.
I don't think like, and like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
It is.
if they're like not attractive at all, I don't think I could get past that. I'm gonna just be honest. If I didn't have any kind of like, I couldn't get like.
But attraction, here's the thing. Attraction comes in many different ways, many different forms. So, like a lot of people say, I have a type. A type. Okay. What they're really saying is, I have a preference. I have preferences. Mm-hmm. Maybe tall and dark skin. Maybe six pack. Those are preferences. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so it just so happens that these preferences, AKA type, are what you think or what you like, or what you like that stimulates chemistry. Okay. Because they don't stimulate compatibility. They stimulate chemistry.
Okay.
Compatibility comes when we start having deeper conversations, when we start interacting on a deeper level. That's when compatibility comes. So what they're saying is the attractor factor are these things. I often say this. Okay. The attractor factor can change as you grow.
Yes.
As you mature. As you mature, it can change. Now,
I know some women that, they used to have this long list of things that they needed a man to have, or to be attracted to them. And the older we get, like it gets down to, it gets down like that list. It was like when you're younger, it's like blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And then as you grow, it's like blah, 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 blah. And when like we're close to 60, it's just like, is he breathing? Yeah. It's just like.
So that being said, I'm gonna bring up another issue. A lot of women, and I'm gonna take some flack for that, but I'm ready for the smoke.
Okay.
All right. And the reason I know is because I coach a lot of them.
Okay.
Thousands. A lot of women have unrealistic expectations. They do. I'm sorry. They want the man. There is a dating formula out there now called 666. Have you heard of it?
I would never use that. I don't care who gave it. I would never use a formula that was 666. That is, go ahead and tell me about it. I would never.
He got to be 6 feet tall. He has to have a six pack, and he got to make six figures. I didn't make this up. I didn't make this up.
A six pack here or a six pack of Corona? Which one you talking about here now? Which one? I'm just saying, because let's be realistic. What percentage of men make six figures?
I think the percent. I think it's 18%.
What percentage of men have a six pack?
Hold on. Black men, 2%. Of 2%.
What percent of men have a six pack?
I don't know the number. I don't know the percentages of that.
And what percentage of men are over 6 feet tall?
I had that number.
Like women.
It's not. I don't know. Now you tread.
I'm asking the audience.
I don't know but the men over 6 feet. I think we should have somebody look it up. Producer, can you look up how many men are actually over 6 feet, please? I'll get one of our producers to look that up. Because I want to get the number.
This is the thing.
How many men are over? How many people in America? Men in America over 6 feet tall. It's not as many as you think.
Right. So when you put those, you got to be this, and you got to be this, you got to be this. It's like, first of all, what you got to be to get those things. You know what I'm saying? All these requirements, what do you have to be? And then when you put yourself in what you say, a 2%, are you 2%?
So here's the thing, that
yourself, or are you in the top 2% yourself? I'm just, you get what I'm saying?
No. So people many times want to hold people to a higher standard than they hold themselves to. Here's the kicker from it. Mm-hmm. They're basing many women, because I talk to many men who say it, but many women are basing this on chemistry. Now, check this out right here. It says 14.5% of men are over 6 feet. 3.9%, only 3.9% over 6'2" or taller. 6'2" or taller, 3.9%. I just happen to be 6'2".
You just happen to be 6'2".
Yeah, I just had to be 6'2". I used to be 6'3". I think I still 6'3". I'm still really 6'3".
You know what I
Paul
think
be
it was?
saying I done slumped over. Okay,
I don't think you slumped over, baby. I think that was just weight. And because you've lost weight. Yeah.
Weight, it was an inch worth of weight.
You was a
I was a
big
big
drink of
rascal.
water. I think it was weight, baby. I don't think you're slumped over. That sounds better than being slumped over.
I think this is
Just turn to the left.
Compliment gone wrong. I think a compliment gone wrong.
So you know, women are wanting the top. I guess that to them, they're putting them in a top percent.
They want the top percent of money, top percent of height. Because a lot of people, and I want to say this to you, what people are doing, and this is why I tell them go through the process, you are basing your potential mate on your preferences. And preferences are chemistry, attractor factor. You're not basing it on compatibility. That's why I say continue down the path. Let's see. Let's see what it could be. And then in my academy, my relationship academy, thanks for sponsoring this relationship academy. We're going to get to them in a minute. But the relationship academy, I know 10 women in my academy that have gotten in relationships and said, I would not coach or entertain this person. They're not the type of person that I would have dated. But because you told me, keep an open mind, live in the present, because the compatibility wise, this person may be who you need, who you really desire, because we discard people based on chemistry alone. And yes, there has to be some attraction. Yes, there has to be some attraction. But to base everything on that attraction, is it fair? I know it's a prerogative. It's an individual prerogative, but I'm just saying most things and most people will not be identical to the image you have in your head. They won't.
So I have a few things here.
Okay, give them to me.
4 things you need to look for when you're trying to find out if you're compatible with someone.
Okay.
So I'm going to say the thing, and I want you to tell the best way to. Okay. So one of the things you need to look for is their core values and their belief system. How can you do that? Or what is the best way when you want to know if you're compatible with somebody? How do you find out if your core values line up?
Great question. First thing you have to do is what I teach my clients, write out your 10 core values. And most people have never done this. Your 10 deepest core values, not 11, not 20, not 5, but 10. And your core values, what are they? These are deeply held beliefs. So for instance, one of my core values, if I was single, I would have to be with someone who believes that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. Everybody can believe what they want to believe.
Yes.
They can be Islamic, but that's one of my core values. Another core value that I have is you've got to be a manager of money. You got to be a person who, if you're not a good manager of money, you believe money is important. You're not frivolously, whatever that word is, you know what I'm trying to say, spending. It means, and so that's a core value, to use money as a tool to enhance our lives. So I know what my 10 core values are. Honesty. And so when you write down, when I teach my people to identify their core values, because most people they've never done it. Then all of a sudden you're like, dang, do I really want that? Or am I just saying I want that because I think I want it? And so I make them drill down and I say, tell me why you want it. If you want somebody who doesn't have children, that's one of your core values, why? Why not? You got to understand why for you. Then once you have that, then you can start having deeper conversation with potential people around those values.
Okay.
That's how I do it. I know it's a short way of
I
getting
love
there.
How do you mutual respect.
Okay.
When you're looking for somebody that's compatible, what is something that you look for to see if they respect you? What would be a good sign? Why you look at me like that?
I'm sitting here thinking about it, the way they talk to me.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good.
The way they talk to me.
The way they talk to you.
The tone. The way, are they dismissive? Okay. Do they engage me in conversation? Do they interrogate me? Do they dismiss what I say?
It's a thin line between asking questions and interrogation. Sometimes it can lean towards interrogation, but that's not what you're trying to do. So how do you learn to stop it right there?
It's funny you asked me that. I'm revamping the book Just Ask. To 50 questions to know if he's the one. That's going to be called Just Ask. 250 questions to know if he's the one. And in that book, I said, what is the difference between communication and interrogation? A lot of people think interrogation is communication, but it's not. It's a form of communication. Yeah, if you're a soldier trying to get information. However, is the difference between interrogation and communication is perception. Think about it. If my perception is you're creating deeper conversation, you're curious about me, you're interesting, then that's communication. But if my perception is you just asking me questions to check off a list, then that's interrogation. The reason why that is important is because once your mind believes something, if I believe you're interrogating me, what do I want to do? I don't want to answer it. I don't want to engage you in conversation. I don't even want to answer all of your questions because all you do is trying to check off a list or find out something about me to scratch me off or whatever. But if I believe you're interested in who I am, like if you say, I like to write, and I will say, well, why you like to write? Why you like to write? Or do you listen to funny music? Do you listen to comedy? And I check a box I go down a list to check a box, as opposed to you telling me, I like to write. And I say, why is writing important to you?
That's good.
Okay. How does writing enlighten you or edify you or empower you? Now all of a sudden, we're having conversation. I'm still asking you questions, but I'm asking you deeper questions to create deeper conversation.
I like that.
That makes sense? That made your liver quiver.
No.
Made your stomach hurt.
So when you're getting to know someone, disagreements.
Okay. Kind of like the one we had before we started this podcast.
Yes. How do you keep because you're bound to have a disagreement. It could be early into it or it could be a little later into the relationship, but you're bound to have a disagreement.
Right.
How do you get through a disagreement and know whether we're still compatible after that?
How you handle the disagreement.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. The number one way that I know a relationship will last. I know there are other ways. If you look at the Gottman Institute, he's done a lot of research on relationships. But the number one way, and this goes kind of into that study, but the number one way I know that relationships will last is how they broach the conflict.
Okay.
How they interact with conflict. How do they navigate conflict? Because here's the thing. No relationship is going to be void of conflict. And I think of it like this. Conflict is necessary. The reason why is because conflicts allow you to see how the other person operates in times of stress, in times of adversity, when things are not going quite well. Like I know how you're going to operate when you get upset. You're going to be quiet. You're going to shut down. And then you're going to say, forget it. You're going to ask me to do something like you did today. Can you get something out my eye? And then I walk towards you, and you're going to just say, just forget it.
That's because you had an attitude.
But I know how you handle conflict. I also know that if I give you a few minutes, and if I give you a few minutes to process your emotion, I can come back later and say, hey, I don't think it was what we thought it was. And we've worked through conflict and we can move forward. So the thing is the first thing is the willingness to work through conflict. Most people aren't willing. They shut down, avoid it, or they just want to win the conflict, just want to win the argument, and they're done with it.
And then the sex after the conflict is like none other. You know, that makeup kind of, I'm sorry, kind of.
But most times you be like, I ain't with it after. How would I know?
That's not true.
How would I know? If we have an argument, you don't even want me to tell you.
I said afterwards.
After it's over. I thought in the midst of it. Oh, okay. After it's over.
No. After it's, I'm talking about after
oh,
it's
yeah.
over.
Makeup sex is good. Makeup sex is good.
Yeah.
I like it. But I want to caution people about makeup sex. I got to always... Because makeup sex many times will masquerade the deeper problems that you have. Because what happens is, instead of discussing the issue, people want to say, I'm sorry. They want to get to the sex because what the sex does, the sex is a bridge to back where we were. It's a bridge to where we were prior to the argument. But it's not a bridge to help bolster the bridge, to build it up, the foundation.
To keep it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's really, really good. And the last thing before we pull a card, and we've talked about this throughout this tonight, but effective communication is really, really important when you are trying to build a relationship or trying to, we talked about chemistry and compatibility, but to find out if you're compatible, your conversation, it has to be effective. How do you make sure that when you're getting to know someone that you're having, or when you're trying to find out if you're compatible, that you're having effective communication so you won't stay anywhere longer than you're supposed to and you won't abandon them before the chemistry or that fire is sparked? I asked a lot. I'm sorry.
You asked a lot, but it boils down to one thing. Be willing to have deeper conversation. That's why we created these cards. If you're willing to go into a deeper conversation, then you can literally find out who this person is. But most people don't want to touch the deeper conversations. You know why? Because it makes us uncomfortable. That leads right into our...
Do you think that, I'm pulling the cards out. It does lead to the cards. Do you think that people living that comfortable life, like you just said, it's a road to divorce?
Not necessarily. I don't think it's a road to divorce per se. I simply think that it's a road to not as deep a connection as you could have. That's what I believe. That's just what I believe. All right, Nick, show him the card.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we have two versions. We've been selling these like crazy.
Yes.
So if you are on TikTok, YouTube, or go to the website and buy them.
Instagram.
And we have two versions of the Moment of Truth game. We've got my lovely wife is holding the original version. I am holding the sex version for all you freaks out there. And we're going to talk about that. And we created this game so really people could have these deeper conversations and truly get to know the other person. You going to ask me or can I ask you?
You can ask me. I'm going to look for one.
All right. Ooh. Okay.
You have yours yet?
I'm going to give you an open question.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
The open questions. Okay. 4 words you least want to hear during sex. 4 words you least want to hear during sex. And now, it don't have to be you. It could be anybody. But I'm thinking, what would be 4 words that a person, 4
words
that a person would least want to hear during sex?
4 words.
What about old snap? Old snap, wife home.
I effed your sister. Look, I had to count.
I got to count the words. Okay. Okay, what about this? Oh,
P.
no.
Diddy.
Rubber broke.
I'm sorry. That was just 2 words, too. But I went too far.
I'm going. What about this? I'm going to a freak off.
Yeah, P. Diddy freak off. I would not.
Hey, look, our producer came up with one. I didn't come yet.
I wasn't going to say that. Okay.
Okay, good.
So I have one here.
Give me one.
What is
That's a good one, though. That's a very good one. I didn't come yet. I mean, because you done told me that before. You be like, hold now. Stay right there. I know you don't want them to know this, but you be like, stay right there. I ain't got by. Because I be like, I'm like, you better hurry up. No, go ahead. Oh, boy, I love you. I love you.
Audience, what would you say? What are your 4 words? What are your 4 words? What are 4 words you would never want to hear during sex?
Your least 4 words.
Least favorite word, 4 words. Okay, so you go to the doctor and find out you have a sexually transmitted disease.
Okay.
You have multiple sex partners that don't know about each other. How would you handle this? A, not tell any one of them about your results. B, you go to each one and blame them for the results. C, you lay low and hope they tell you about their results. D, leave them all alone and find another partner.
Because I was going to say A. What was A?
Not tell any of them about
I was going to say not tell. Here's the problem, though. If I'm taking medicine to get rid of it, and I know I gave it to, and I don't know which one, then that means that I would have to use a condom with all of them. And the ones, and let's say me and you, and I ain't never used no condom, like, you're like, what's the deal with this? Or I could avoid it, but then the problem is in women, sometimes it takes longer to show up to manifest itself. Why do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. How the fuck? I mean, excuse me.
Yeah. Somebody said, our producers say, Big AP say, just say you got COVID. Can I tell you, Ned, that happened to me?
What?
Before I knew you. One of my exes, I gave her.
How many
baby.
partners did you have, honey?
I think at the time probably was about 3. I think it was 3. And I'm just being honest. I mean, I know people are looking at me and they're going to judge me. But it happened years ago. It happened to me.
You could tell him like he on the YSL trial, like he little Woody or something. Go ahead now.
Oh, snap. I'm just saying. And how I handled it, I did wrong.
What you do, Kenny?
I blamed. I said, I went to the doctor and they said that I had something and I'm blaming you. Who you been messing with? She started crying so bad. No one. And I knew it was me. But I had to go with the story though. I know it's wrong. That was when I was Ken before I was Coach Ken.
Day is done. We're going to end on this right here. Gone the sun. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Baby, can I be transparent? I did wrong. Hey, what's that song? I did wrong. Oh, okay. Anyway.
All is well.
I didn't know you doing that time.
Safely rest. God is nigh. Y'all have a wonderful
Hold on. Before you go,
Okay.
I'm Coach Ken now. I was Ken when that is. But listen, I've changed and I've helped a lot of people change.
Did she take some pills?
Yeah, she did. I don't think she ever believed. But what I ended up doing is saying I went back to the doctor and the doctor said I didn't have it. It was a mistake on the reading. Okay.
Well, if you're watching, you know now.
I know. But anyway, I want to say this, y'all. I was Ken before I was Coach Ken, but now that I'm Coach Ken, I help people in relationships identify when fools be lying like I was lying. All right. And this part of the show is sponsored by the Relationship Academy. If you know that you really, really want to change, you want to meet the person of your dreams, but you need the tools, the strategies, the techniques. I know them now. I didn't know them then. But I want you to come to the relationshipacademy.co, the relationshipacademy.co. Sign up, come join our community, and be a part of the growth and evolution and healing that we provide in the academy. All right, now I know I've said something tonight that caused you to think about me in a different light, but I am a different person now.
Yes, you are. Hey, listen. Whatever happened back then, I am grateful. It made you the man that you are today.
Yes. All right, y'all. We appreciate
but
y'all.
You know
for
what?
Rocking with us. Huh?
I just had a thought.
What? You wasn't the one I gave that to though.
You is like Woody and them. All y'all from the same place, McCannaville. Y'all, we're the Grand Canions, and we're out. Thank you guys for joining us on tonight. They all from the ATL, yo.
Yeah, I am. That's all right, y'all.
Boom, toom.
Oh, you crazy. But I did that for real, y'all.